Oh, oh hey, you're back. Hopefully that means I said something that resonated with you over the course of the last few episodes. Like, maybe you could relate to the stuff I said about seeking a way out. Maybe you too feel bored, anxious, depressed, as if life has no rhyme or reason, no meaning or purpose. Or maybe you're just like, this motherfucker's crazy, and you want to hear what kind of nonsense comes out of my mouth next. Either way, thank you for being here. And thank you for joining me on this heroic journey. Because that's what this channel is about. Going within. Facing whatever we find lurking in there. Learning from those encounters, and then re-emerging out into the world of the everyday and the ordinary as transformed and empowered beings. And make no mistake about it, what we encounter in our adventure within the psyche is nothing short of transformative. Meaning, truth, wisdom, knowledge of self and knowledge of God. Or, well, if that's too lofty for you, happiness, inner peace, and the good life. These are the things that we will encounter as we journey within. My goal over the next few episodes is to outline my take on spiritual exploration, share some of the insights this has yielded in my life, and, of course, offer my services to anyone who wants to embark on the path, but doesn't quite know where or how to begin. But first, I have to stress a point that you'll probably hear me say time and time again on this channel. Whenever I share my personal values, principles, or beliefs with you, know that I'm doing so as an example, to create conversation, spark new thoughts, or introduce an alternative point of view. What I'm not trying to do is convert you to my way of thinking and being. Ultimately, my hope is that the content I share on this channel will motivate and inspire you to embark on your own inward expedition, find your own truth, and live it fearlessly with your entire being. I'm confident that if you engage in spiritual exploration earnestly, that is, with an open mind and an open heart, you will benefit greatly. And at the end of the day, that's all I really care about. Sound good? Hit my music! Now, before we cross the threshold, I feel morally obligated to warn you. Simply put, spiritual exploration can really mess your shit up. You know those late night infomercials where they try to sell you some new drug whose name you can hardly pronounce? At the end of the commercial, a narrator comes on and speed talks his way through a long list of side effects that sound way worse than the condition the drug supposedly treats. Well, this episode is sort of like that. I'm not trying to scare you, but at the same time, I want you to know what you're getting into, for better or worse, before you've gone too far. So here it is, my disclaimer. Spiritual exploration is not a pleasure cruise undertaken for enjoyment purposes. It's more like spelunking into a dark cave, full of dangerous creatures and hidden treasures. The benefits are indeed plenty, and as I listed them a few moments ago. A meaningful life guided by wisdom, a sense of inner peace that is largely unaffected by external circumstances, and all that stuff. But on the flip side, there are negative side effects. So, as a service to you, I would like to present the 3 most common side effects of spiritual exploration. What you discover as you journey deeper into the psyche will cause you to question and reconsider everything you once believed to be true about the way things are and the way they ought to be. And more importantly, about who and what you are. And this could cause you to feel confused and even disturbed. Immanuel Kant framed it nicely. He wrote, "Only a descent into the hell of self-knowledge can pave the way to godliness." Now, I don't know the first thing about godliness, but I think I know a thing or two about the hell of self-knowledge. The hell of self-knowledge is the feeling you experience when you discover something gross about yourself. A character flaw, some past transgression, or maybe a cringeworthy habit you didn't know you had. For those of you who have yet to experience this feeling firsthand, I would describe it as a rich blend of dread and shame with a healthy sprinkle of embarrassment, like, how did I not see this sooner? No, seriously, Candace, how did I not see it sooner? It was staring me right in the face. God damn it. The important thing to remember, my friends, is that these revelations are the result of genuine soul searching. Believe it or not, they represent progress on the path, even though it doesn't usually feel that way. Each one is an opportunity to better understand the person you are now, which in turn creates the potential for deliberate and meaningful growth moving onward. As Joseph Campbell wrote, "It is by going down into the abyss that we recover the treasures of life. Where you stumble, there lies your treasure." Knowing this doesn't prevent the feelings of shame and self-loathing, but it does help make them bearable. More importantly, it helps us learn whatever lesson we need to learn from that revelation and move ahead without the unnecessary burden of guilt and embarrassment. Each revelation takes us one step closer to the treasures of life, as Joseph Campbell puts it, takes us one step closer to the person we were meant to be, to the life we yearn to live. So, as we carry on in our explorations, and you stub your toe, please don't stop. Simply pick up the treasure and continue onward. As I said earlier, the things you discover as you journey deeper and deeper into yourself will have a transformative effect on the entirety of your external life. Priorities, principles, values, hobbies, jobs, relationships, these things will shift and move and even transform in unexpected ways. Things that never mattered to you before might become extremely important, while the things that used to bring you great joy and satisfaction begin to feel lifeless, hollow, and unimportant. Old, familiar friendships may begin to break down and dissolve for no discernible reason, while great new friendships spring up out of synchronistic encounters. Basically, my friends, there's nothing you can do about this. I'm just giving you fair warning, because in my travels and through my conversations with other fellow explorers, I have found this to be one of the most common side effects. When you add it all up, your newfound understanding of yourself and the world at large, combined with the dissolution of old beliefs, relationships, and life goals, may lead you to feelings of isolation and alienation, like you don't fit in anywhere anymore, or like there's no one to which you can relate. Carl Jung once observed that loneliness doesn't come from having nobody around, but from being unable to share the things that seem important to you with others. My friends, this has certainly been my experience on the path, but unlike point number 2, which I just made, there are ways to alleviate this side effect. You can go out and find like-minded people. You can seek out a spiritual community. Or, well, you can just be by yourself. What I'm trying to say is this is not a permanent situation, and there are ways to alleviate it. To summarize, shame and embarrassment from discovering previously hidden aspects of one's character. Existential angst from questioning and discarding deep-rooted beliefs and values. And feelings of loneliness and isolation. In my experience, and in the experience of many other spiritual explorers, these appear to be the 3 most common side effects, especially early on in the process. If you keep going at it long enough, you'll eventually reach a point where the inconvenient revelations about yourself are fewer, less intense, and easier to integrate, and where the gaps left behind by your old beliefs and values are filled with better beliefs and better values. And as for the loneliness and isolation, this too will fade in time as you encounter new people and new communities on the path of spiritual exploration. Lastly, I'd like to reiterate that unlike that drug you heard about on the late night infomercial, the benefits of spiritual exploration far outweigh these side effects. Warning: spiritual exploration is not for the faint of heart. If you have a fragile ego, thin skin, or rigid mindset, do not attempt to go within. If you do, you could experience a psychotic break, severe depression, nihilism, lack of motivation, solipsism, itchy eyelids, paranoia, hallucinations, and dissociative identity disorder. Some explorers have also reported near-death experiences, amnesia, and the inability to engage in small talk. Before going within, please consult your physician, priest, therapist, guru, astrologer, and family members. The outsider's perspective is not responsible for anything that happens once you cross the threshold.